According to UNICEF, almost 1 child per second in Ukraine is becoming a refugee of war. The humanitarian UN aid said as the total number of people who have now fled the country since Russian invasion began passed 3 million. It's saying 3 million mark in terms of movements of people out of Ukraine to neighboring countries, and among them there are some 157,000 third country nationals. And some 1.5 million children have now joined the exodus at a rate of just under 1 per second. They're saying every day over the past 20 days in Ukraine, more than 70,000 children have become refugees. Joining us to talk about children caught in the war, whether it's Ukraine, also it's happening Syria, Yemen, children in the Horn of Africa facing drought, the Northeast. Joining us in the studio, Dr. Grace Ijarugbe, consultant psychiatrist, Federal Neuropsychiatric Hospital, Yaba, to help us make sense of it all. Thank you and welcome to the program. Thank you. First, you've been seeing pictures, videos, this invasion. You've been seeing women and children mostly caught up in any war. What's been going through your mind?
So imagine I'm an 8-year-old boy, and I've been withdrawn from school. I've left my parents behind, and I'm running through the city. I'm stepping over dead bodies, but smell of flesh, burning everywhere, and I don't know anybody. I'm scared, I'm hungry, I'm cold. I'm sleeping with wild animals in the bush, and I'm running with everybody across the border to the other side. So, I mean, even if I survive and I'm on the other side of the border and I'm a survivor, what has become of me? I've arrived afraid, hungry, and lonely. That's what's been going through my mind.
Extremely intense. I mean, how do you describe what the child is feeling?
So for this child that has come out here, what meets him at the other end extremely determines what will shape his life henceforth. If he comes across refugees who are also in this boat with him and that's all he has, then there's problem ahead. If there are people who are going to rescue him and help him, put him in shelter, then he may have a better life. But this child is going to have a lot of trauma henceforth because now he has memories of so much that has gone on through the war, memories of sisters lost, mother separated from him, not knowing where brothers and sisters are, friends gone, maybe even some dead bodies of friends, people burnt on the road. So he's going to have a lot of horrifying memory to carry with him. He may not be able to sleep at night. He may wake up with nightmares, he's running up and down. He feels like he's still in the war zone, even though he's now on the other side of the border. He's not able to sleep. He's not able to eat well. He's suspicious of everybody around him. Even the security who have come around to protect him now that he's on the side of safety are suspects because he doesn't know whether they've, they're part of the war. So it's a very sensitive period for children who are caught in conflict. And, he's having palpitations. His heart is beating like he's going to jump out of his body. Is so afraid. There's no comfort. There is no familiar face or figure or mother figure that can hold them the way, a mother would at such times. Because everybody is on the run. Everybody is onto their own helter-skelter. So children caught up at times like this could come to that point where they are numbed. They cannot remember. Even people who are rescue people could ask them, what's your name? And they say, I can't remember. And they genuinely can't even remember who they are, where they're coming from.
Is that as a result of shock?
Going on, yeah.
Shock that, they're witnessing this firsthand.
They are absolutely in shock. They can't put it together. And honestly, some of them may wish that they had died back there with family or that, so they can become so suicidal, harmful to themselves. They may want to destroy other people around them. They may become so erratic that nobody can explain their behavior. Children who are coming out of this war zone are children that everybody coming out to meet them have got to be so sensitive about them because anything you do can be a trigger. Singing a song can be a trigger. Bringing out a book from a bag can remind them of school is a trigger. Everything can make them sad, angry, and depressed.
There's a lot of work for the humanitarian aid agencies. We also saw this numbness with an Indian student who was schooling in Ukraine. So it doesn't even matter the age.
No, it doesn't matter the age. In short, it may be worse in children. This numb thing, this not being able to feel, or this derealization, this like, I'm not myself, this is not happening to me, it's not real, this denial. Imagine that children are now in mourning. You know, how do children mourn? How do they've lost everything. How do they even begin to reconcile this?
What do you think the parents can do? Parents who are also fleeing this war.
So for those that are still lucky to have parents around them, the parents have got to not be too far from them at this time. This is not the time to take a break and, you know, go so far. It's to keep holding them close. Let them have that attachment figure still so close in form of comfort. Those that don't have parents must have people who are like parental figures who can be around them and provide that comfort. This is not the time to be cynical and say, oh, you don't remember your name, what do you mean? You know, because they're not lying. Or they are hearing voice, they're, you know, having hallucinatory experiences and saying, I can hear my father or I can hear my brother. To be so understanding and to be so comforting and supporting.
Would it also be true for children who, you know, many families were separated by this war. Mothers had to pick up the kids and pick up whatever they could to run across the border. Yeah. Fathers had to stay back to fight in the war. What sort of picture do you think that these children have in their minds about, you know, who their fathers are or the roles that their parents have played in this crisis?
These are children who will be forever broken because they've had to leave a part of their life behind and they do not know whether they will survive. Imagine going over all those dead bodies on the road. They are wondering, maybe my father is like that now. Maybe my brother is like that now, who's old enough to fight the war. So honestly, it's not going to be easy. And they may actually, in truth, never be reunited with those people that they have left behind.
Yeah, that's a possibility. But then these children do grow. You know, time does take its toll.
Yeah.
How do they turn out to be as adults?
If they don't have a lot of support, if they don't go through therapy, people who support them and, you know, actually help them to mend and, you know, be right again, then these children could grow up very cruel. They could become very callous. They could become very wicked. They could be very angry without boundaries. You know, sometimes when we're angry, we know what we're angry with. But they're angry at everything around. They want to destroy everything around them. They could start burning houses, getting involved in arson, running riots around the place, playing a lot of miscreant, destroying things that you can't even explain. Why would you destroy this? And they have no explanation. They just are volatile. So we are looking at I'm hearing millions and hundreds of thousands. And I'm like, all these people are going to be out there in the next 10, 15 years because there's no way aid will be able to cope with mending this number of children who are going to be out there.
So bound to leave a permanent scar. But I want to ask you, because, I mean, my 7-year-old asked me that there is a war going on, Mom. Why is it going on? Why can't they settle? I mean, there are also children in other parts of the world wondering why this war is happening. What do you tell them?
The truth sometimes, that all of us do not know why this has come to be. Because in the world at times, you know, people fight, there's conflict at times. But what will be more important to tell them is what they are to be doing now, how they are to be, what their reflections are going to be. Many of these children running around now were not even prepared for this war. They just woke up one day, we were pulling them out of school and everybody was on the run because it broke out it met them almost suddenly. So we need to prepare their mind when there's war, when there's separation. What do you do as a child? What are your expectations? What hope can we give children projecting forward? How can we empower them to survive a war so that they come out at the other end, they're stronger, they're prepared, and, you know, they are more emotionally ready to deal with the fallout of everything that is going on around them.
We appreciate your time. Thank you so much, Dr. Grace Ijaragbe, consultant psychiatrist, Federal Neuropsychiatric Hospital, Yaba. Thank you for joining us on the program.
Thank you, sir.